Understand this. Lies do not win wars. Propaganda, let me change that. Propaganda does not win wars. Lies do not hide the truth. What we are looking at is a classic example of David and Goliath. And Israel is simply a little mouse, totally dependent on Goliath. Now, all this talk about ceasefire and a peace agreement is BS. Iran has stated what they want, and what they want is unconditional surrender. That is what they want. There is no peace plan. What it is and what Iran wants is the United States moved out of all bases in the Middle East and to not be able to threaten Iran ever again, or Iraq, or the Palestinian people. That is what they want. They want the United States totally out the Middle East, all their bases closed, period, and not to be a threat to Iran ever again. Now understand this. Iran has many underground sites in which they can use to send out missiles and drones. And the reality of the situation is the United States does not know where these underground launch pads are. And Iran has not used all of these underground launch pads. Understand this. Iran just attacked the base in Iraq that was going to be used to attack the oil refinery that is owned by Iran. Before they could do this, Iran attacked that base and destroyed it. It is on fire. Now let me repeat something. Propaganda does not win wars. Lies do not change reality. This is a metaphorical story in real time of David being Iraq, and of course, the United States being Goliath. And Israel is just a little mouse in a corner, totally dependent upon the United States to back up its bluffs. Understand something. This little tussle between the United States and Israel against Iraq has been going on for decades. First, they tried to use Iraq to attack Iran, and Iraq lost that war. And as all these series of attacks that have been going on against Iraq and the Palestinians, Iran, Iraq, the Palestinians, and Libya, whoever the United States attacked, all these attacks have been documented and studied by the Iranian people. They have documented and studied everything that the United States does when it bullies other countries. And they sat back and they created a plan. They formulated a plan to counter the United States offensive. But they didn't create but their plan to counter the United States offense was an offense of their own. They didn't worry too much about defense. Their defense is their offense, and that is what we're looking at right now in real time. Iraq also knows that every time they acquiesce to a ceasefire, the United States attacks. And that is exactly what was going to happen in this 48-hour ceasefire. They were going to attack the Strait of Hormuz and try to take Iran out. That's why they wanted to cease fire. And Iran figured it out. But really, I don't really want to talk, this is not really what I want to talk about. What I'm going to be talking about in the future is spiritual philosophy, the uplift of Hebrew Israelites. And understand this, the first covenant, or either the second covenant, was be fruitful and multiply. You cannot be fruitful and multiply with two men. You cannot be fruitful and multiply with two women. That is a breakage from the covenant. And understand this. You don't fear God, Yahweh, because Yahweh is a loving God. What you fear is breaking the 10 Commandments. Just like you fear breaking the law of human beings, speeding, you don't want to get caught. You don't want to break into some place and get caught. You don't want to break those laws. But see, God's law, Yahweh's law, is more superior. You break Yahweh's law and you are condemning yourself. You are condemning yourself physically and spiritually when you break Yahweh's law, and you will suffer karma. And as you should know this, if you are a student of the Bible, when Yahshua was asked about the weeds growing with the wheat, he said, let them grow, and they will be separated during harvest time. Now is the time of harvest. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for further updates.